Good evening, everyone. Hello, welcome. Those of you who are here, let me pause that. What time is it? We're just going to wait a couple more minutes, see if someone else joins. So, yeah, if this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. This is Home With You, and I am Alba. And we've got loads of dogs making loads of noises here. But this is a series of live sessions we are doing, and they're free for now. So it's just a way of. Oh my god! Oh my god! Look, Easter has made someone be a little bit too excited. Okay, so all the calm that these guys bring to us. So yeah, and these are, as I was saying, a series of live videos, and yeah, I just hope you can enjoy them with me, and yeah, we can all move together, and this is just a gift, and it'll be amazing. So if you like this, if you enjoy the session, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel. And we're gonna get started in a little bit. I'm just gonna wait just a little bit more, see if someone else joins. So who have we got today? If you want, you can just give me a comment over there so that I know who's there, where you're watching me from. And if you've ever done Pilates before, is it your first time? We're mainly doing a bit of a mixture between beginner, intermediate, depending on who we've got every day. So feel free to give me feedback, ask for things you want to work on specifically, and we'll be able to address those, and it'll be much more fun and interactive and everything. So yeah. If you want to say hi over there, please feel free to do so. It's so nice when I know who's watching me. So yeah. And without further ado, we're gonna get started soon. So in terms of material, what you're gonna need, I always say, if you've got a little cushion like this one, it'll be amazing. It doesn't have to be like this, but it needs to be something that you can lift your head on, so it just can give you a little bit of support in the head. So anything that's a bit thin, it can either be like a block, maybe this is too thick, but like a block like that one, or just an actual cushion similar to this. Not too high though. And you can also use these ones for some stretches afterwards. And then if you've got a mat, that's wonderful. As you can see, this is not a very cool mat, to be honest. It's the only one I've got in here. But you can also use a rack or anything that's comfy that you can lie on comfortably. Yeah. And if this is your first time, I hope you're going to enjoy it and start to little by little get the principles going. I'm trying to do more or less a sort of similar routine, so that we start to, if you follow me, able to sit here again. So let's get started. So we're just going to start. We're just going to have the mat a little bit centered, and I'm just going to start at the edge. So whichever, you can be like more or less in the middle of the mat, and from there you're just going to let your arms be nice and loose. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to soften my knees and start to release, imagining my sacrum is nice and heavy, and I'm just going to start to bounce a little bit in my knees. So just imagining there's like a little bit of a release down there in the pelvic floor, and I'm starting to, with that bouncing, bring the awareness in all my lower leg and lower belly. So all this area, I'm starting to just breathe into it, imagining I'm expanding my pelvis. And as I exhale, I'm dropping water from the floor. And I can even swing my arms with it. Just a little bit of mobilization. And from there, I'm going to stay with those knees slightly bent and start to imagine your chest gets very heavy, as if you wanted to pull it down into yourselves and imagining the ribs are floating up and back to the ceiling. We're going to start to roll all the way down. Now, let me make sure this is in the right place. Very good. So we're going to go all the way down. Now, it's quite tempting to bring the weight quite back, so you're going to really make sure your weight is forward. Then you're going to keep going. And from there, you press on your feet, crush your sacrum down to your feet, making them very heavy, and you go all the way back up and again, inhaling. As you exhale, imagine you're floating the ribs back and up and coming all the way down. Now, when you feel like your back has gone just forward enough, you're going to imagine you're sliding the sit bones up to the ceiling and you go a little bit farther. Beautiful. Keep those parallel knees. And now imagine again your sacrum gets heavy towards your feet. And you pick up your pubic bone. It's like the pubic bone really wants to go all the way out to your nose. And again, inhale. Heavy chest. Nice. I hope you all had a great Easter. And if you had a chance to get some chocolate, I didn't get my Easter egg, but I did get some chocolate and send the sacrum down. We do need a bit of that now, don't we? Good, very good. Wonderful. And now from there, we're just going to keep those principles that we're using to curl, but we're just going to go to the front of the mat and cross one foot in front of the other one. Now, if my right foot is on top, then my left hand is going to be on top. And I pull my arms towards me. And from there, I'm just going to start to curl. Make sure your feet are not too together because otherwise it'll be very hard. We're just going to start to imagine there's a little bit of a curl going on down there in your lower belly, and you're going to try to sit down as soft and smoothly as you can. Now, if you fall, it's okay. It happens the first time. And we're going to go up and do it once more because we've been practicing it a little bit in the other sessions. And I just want you to get a hint of how it feels. It doesn't matter if we fall. It's just to be aware of what sort of failed us and what didn't really support us when we were going down. So we're going to go again, pulling the arms towards you. Little 100 curl, very good. And you let the bum drop and you put your hands on the floor. So now my feet are parallel, hands, palms are nice and grounded on the floor. And I'm going to have the feeling that there's like a string pulling my heels to my bum a little bit. Okay, so you feel that? It's like a little string there. And now from there, I'm going to imagine that seam in the middle of my trousers, if I do have it, otherwise just imagine it. You're going to send it towards your pubic, towards your nose, and you're going to tip that pubic bone and start to go all the way down, bending those elbows. Beautiful. Now, my aim here is to be able to bend my spine, so I'm going to let my chest melt down as I keep pressing on my palms, allowing my thoracic spine to bend. Beautiful. And again, pubic bone towards your nose, opening those hip creases. Yes, that's it. And now hands again as I melt the heart down, down, down to the mat. Wonderful. Two more. And I'm going to start to talk about the breathing. So you really want the breathing to go into that upper bit of your spine so that your front stays very heavy. We're just going to do one more. And you're going to start to send air into all that space in the lower back, into all that upper back. Wonderful. Now we're going to stay there and we're going to have the hands a little bit more apart. So we're going to have the palms nice and long. And I'm going to be almost on the floor, but without lying. So this is the position lying, and this is where I am. So my hands are like sort of pressing against the floor to give me some sort of support, and my shoulders are nice and connected to my spine. Now my head is relaxed, my neck is not tensing there, and I keep imagining there's like a hammock in my chest so that all that space gets very heavy and my belly gets super heavy too. Good. And from there, I'm inhaling, and as I exhale, I'm going to pick up one knee to my chest. Very good. And I'm going to keep making my pubic bone tip towards my nose. I'm going to inhale again. Exhale, make the belly even heavier to pick up the other leg. Wonderful. Now, guys, You keep imagining the pubic bone spread it. And now you're going to take one knee down just a bit without letting that belly pop out. And you're going to exhale, make the belly even heavier. Very good. And again, inhale, exhale, heavy belly. Now, the temptation might be that when we inhale, we just inflate the belly, right? Because it all goes there. And what I want you to imagine is that you're sending the air in that space between your blades. So you're inhaling to that space and you're exhaling, melting the heart even more, two more. Very good. Heavy belly. Last one. That's wonderful. So your hands need to be very strong, guys. You don't forget about your hands. And you go all the way down. Wonderful. Now we're going to stay there. Now, if you've got your wonderful cushion, now it's the time to use it. So you're just going to plant it in your head. Okay? If you don't have one, it's okay. It will just give you a little bit of support. And you'll understand why as soon as you do it. So the minute my head is a little bit higher, I can more easily allow the chest to melt down and let all that relax down. So I'm going to make you imagine. It's very important, this image, because we tend to work a lot on the abdominals, just pulling them out. And really, that can be, in the long term, really damaging. So we want to start to imagine that all this front of the body is getting super heavy. You can even use this angle in your hand to start to press all those bits in the middle of your body a little bit down. And imagine as you breathe in, instead of pushing all that out, you're going to expand your sides and your back. So it's like you're a sponge and you're absorbing air out of the atmosphere from every single cell of your body, not just from the front popping out. Good. And again, just practicing that breathing. And I'm going to keep softening my front with my hand. So I keep doing a little bit of cutting through the front. Nice, stay nice and heavy on the chest. Wonderful. Okay. Now, my hands are going to be just behind my head. Now, when I do this, my thumbs are through my whole neck and my whole palm is just really covering my skull so that I feel the nice support in my head. Okay. And now from there, I'm going to inhale, and as I exhale, my front super heavy, like I've got 4 elephants on top of it to pick one knee up to the ceiling. We inhale there, and as we exhale again, let that heaviness pick up the other knee. Now, I always tend to work in this position that's not really tabletop. I don't quite like tabletop that much. So you're going to pull your knees towards you, okay? So that they're slightly lighter, and your heels are going to squeeze together. Now, I'm going to start to imagine if my legs get too heavy, I can even hold them here, okay? But if they don't, I'm just going to have my hands behind my head. And imagine you're stretching those triceps up to the ceiling. Now, from there, I'm going to imagine that heavy chest. And as my chest gets really heavy, my elbows pick me up, and I'm going to start to inhale, float my upper body off the mat. Exhale, make my belly very heavy. Inhale, keeping the heaviness in my belly. I keep inhaling. Heavy belly. 2 more. Inhale. Very good. Heavy belly. Last one. Good. So this is basically what we call the preparation for 100. Okay. And the most important thing here is that we don't allow just all the air to pop in here in the belly, but we try to, again, find that breath that allows it to use the whole lung capacity. And for that, we just need to imagine that feeling of a sponge. Okay. So we're just going to do a couple more. And I want you to actually use a different kind of breath. So you're going to look at me for a second, just so that you can see what I'm doing. So you're going to think of inhaling, inhaling, inhaling. And all that air that I'm inhaling goes just into this space. And as I exhale, I stay in that position. So I'm inhaling, inhaling, inhaling. I stay exhaling, narrowing my waist with my breath. And I go again a bit higher. Inhale, inhale, inhale. So the breath floats my upper back. Exhale, heavy belly. 2 more. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Heavy belly. Last one. Good. And rest. And we're just going to do one more. Now, this is feeling a bit weird. It's normal if it's the first time you're doing it. So, a couple things to bear in mind. It's what we're doing and also the head. So, we will probably want to go up with the head like that. You feel that? And what I want you to imagine is that you're in a nice beach bed in Las Bahamas. Wouldn't it be nice? And you're just relaxing your head on your hands so that the elbows are the ones picking you up, not your head. Your head is nice and long through the back of the neck and it's really heavy. Your head is stays heavy on your hands. Inhale, very good. Two more. Let's do two more breaths, guys. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Heavy belly. Last one. Good. Now, when we're up there, we're going to slowly, keeping the shoulders with us, try to take your hands off there without changing the shoulders at all. Like you're taking a very delicate silk shirt of you. Good. And your arms are going to go forward. Now, I'm going to start. Make sure your neck doesn't pull. You're still making your chest heavy. And we're going to start to pump with our hands for 100. So you're going to inhale, exhale for 4. Inhale. Exhale, you keep pumping. Beautiful. Inhale into your upper back. Exhale, heavy belly. 2 more. Squeeze your heels together. Heavy chest. Remember the really heavy chest. 2 more. Keep stretching the shape like your ribs want to float back and up. Last one. And rest. Wonderful. Nice. Now, the reason why we're doing this like very little by little is that we start to try to keep the support so that we are not in our neck. So it might happen at the beginning because, as I said, this tightness sometimes is just going to pull our neck a little bit too much, right? But as soon as this starts to bend, you'll feel how that really relieves. So it is, of course, it is the process and it is a journey. So let's go. Just crossing one leg on top of the other one. Just want you to stretch the glute a little bit for me. So you're going to have your hands in the back of your thigh and pull them in. And I'm seeing there's quite more people there. So if you want to say hi, feel free to say hi over the comments so that I can see who's in there. That's very cool and where you're watching me from. And let's bring it to us. Yeah, and let's do the other one. So we cross the left on top and we just pull the thigh towards us. Nice. Very good. Wonderful. Good, 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 good. Okay, so from there, I think we're going to do a little bit of all fours, which is very important to work on all that shoulder stabilization. So taking the cushion off the equation for now, you can just leave it to the side. We don't need it now. And we're just going to be in all fours, okay? So you're with your hands on the mat, feet on the mat. And in this case, I'm just going to take this mat off just because it's too narrow. But you can use it if you've got it. So I want you to actually give yourselves enough space in the shoulder. Sometimes we a little bit underestimate the width of it. And I want you to give yourselves as much space as you need, in a way that the space in between my shoulders feels nice and broad, nice and open, and I'm starting to feel the pressure through both my hands. So I'm letting my arm bone drop into my socket, but without over squeezing the plate. So you're gonna try it. I'm just gonna do an exercise to find that nice sweet medium. So you're gonna pull your arms off the socket, like really press too hard on the floor so that your like blades really elevate up to the ceiling. And then you're going to do the opposite. So you're going to let your arm bone go all the way back to the ceiling and you're going to really let it hang so that you're like sort of squeezing your blades a bit. And we're going to go again. So you press on the hands to pull your arm bones really far away from you so that they go off your shoulders. And then you do the opposite. You let the arm bone really go past to the back. Wonderful. Good. Now, I want you guys to try to find the medium between those two, okay? So the middle. So you're going to do it once more. Let it go all the way back and then pull it all the way out. And now let's see if we can find that middle ground Let your intuition guide you. So you'll feel how there's a place where I feel my hands pressing. If I try to press through all my fingers, it can even be a bit like painful because I feel the tightnesses. And I'm just gonna imagine I'm spreading my hands apart. So I'm doing a little bit of um I'm having a little power in my hands to spread them apart. And I'm starting to feel how when I press on my fingers and palms, my sternum it's getting a bit lighter. It's not massive, it's not so big as this, it's just light. And then I'm going to try to pick up the back of my skull so that my head feels in line with my spine. Beautiful. Now, at the moment, I should be feeling more or less that my hands are connecting me to my sternum in a very subtle way and to my lower stomach. And from there, I'm going to inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to curl my toes around so that my toes are touching the mat. Good. Now I'm going to inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to slide one leg away from me. Good. This is going to be the right. And I'm going to inhale. And as I exhale, I pull it back in again. Now it's like I'm on a table with 4 supports. I'm going to do it again with the other one. Inhaling. And as I take one of the supports off, I'm really trying to stay in, imagining there are still 4 supports. I'm not changing my weight. I'm staying in the middle. And I come back in again. Beautiful. Inhale. Keep feeling the lightness of your sternum through your hands. I'm going to inhale and exhale, fold that knee back in. And I'm going to go for the left again. Inhaling, exhaling, sliding that foot. Now I'm going to stay with that left leg out. I keep pulling the back of my skull up to the ceiling. I'm making sure I'm not hanging my head. I'm really letting it be nice and connected. And my hands are super strong. And I'm going to stay on my hands nice and strong to slide the other leg out. Imagining I'm slightly squeezing the inner thighs together. Then I'm going to inhale, bring my right knee in. Then I'm going to inhale. And as I exhale, I bring the other one. Good. And now we're going to go through the right, okay? So again, making sure head is not dropping. I'm really picking it up. And my hands are still spreading apart and being nice and strong. So I'm inhaling. Exhale. Bring that right foot out. And inhaling. As I exhale, I do the same with my left. Beautiful. I'm inhaling. Pick up your lower belly. I'm lowering my left knee in. I'm inhaling and I'm bringing my right. Wonderful. I'm just going to rest there for a second, just stretching my back in that child's pose. Very good. And trying to really breathe into that space in between my shoulders. Okay, that's wonderful. Yes, marvelous. Okay, and then we're going to go back to all fours. We're going to do just a little bit of extension. So let's go just to those 4 supports we were in. And I want you to just look at your hands for a second, just observe what's going on. You might feel that one hand is like more red than the other one, or like it has more circulation. And I want you to try to even it out. So, for example, my left is like a little bit more disconnected. So I'm going to try to really make the spaces of air underneath my fingers smaller. So I'm really pressing through every single finger. And I will probably realize there's quite a lot of tightness through my wrist. But that's okay. So that's something we need to work on. So from there, I'm going to curl my toes again. Okay. And then I'm going to bring my feet together. Now, for this extension, it's a little bit of weird choreography, but you'll get it. So you can look at me for a second if you want. So your hands can come slightly more forward. And now I'm going to pull my elbows, like I'm spiraling them in a little bit. So bending them parallel. And I'm going to start imagining I'm sending my nipples forward towards the window in this case. And my is stretching backwards. So if I had a string pulling me that way, that would be what would happen. So I've got 2 directions. This is pulling forward my nipples, my collarbone, everything in my shoulders, and my pubic bone is pulling back. But I'm really trying to keep those forces even, because if I don't, then my belly will pop out and I will really collapse. And that's not very nice for the back. So I'm having my heels very squeezed together, bending those elbows And now pressing on the hands to stretch that collarbone forward, and imagine the pubic bone goes back to my feet. Beautiful. And I'm going to go back to center and feet in parallel again. Sorry, I sort of lost my voice there. Okay, there you go. So now we're going to go from that position into the curl. So I want you to think it's like a system, right? So I'm going to go back in my parallel legs. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to center. I'm just marking it through for you guys. And then I'm curling my toes, heels together, elbows go to me, and I'm stretching the shape forward. Okay, so I'm going to repeat it. So I'm with my parallel knees, feet apart. And I'm just going to press on my hands to imagine I'm curling my sacrum to my feet, trying to really press on the shins and feet. Then I'm going to go back to center. Then I'm going to bring my toes together and curl them. I'm going to have my elbows in and I'm going to stretch my collarbone forward. Beautiful. And back into my parallel. Okay. So if it is the first time you're doing it, don't worry if you get a bit messed up. It'll come. But let's just try, okay? So we're going to press on the palms, and from there, we're going to start by curling. Now, it's very tempting to do this, to pull the arms off the socket, but I want you to imagine your shoulders stay in the nice, beautiful place they were before, where you feel your sternum and your lower stomach. That doesn't change. So now I'm pressing on the shins to just curl my lower back and not do anything with my upper bit. Very good. And now I go back to center. Wonderful. Now I bring my heels together, curl my toes, elbows go to me. I stretch the collarbone all the way forward and my pubic bone back. Beautiful. And I go back to center. Let's just do two more so that we get used to it. So I'm pressing on the shins to send my sacrum to my feet, curling in that lower bit of the spine. Then I'm going to go back to center, heels together, toes curled, and I'm bringing elbows in and stretching collarbone forward. That's beautiful. And then I'm just going to relax back again. That's really nice. Nice. So just a really basic cat cow can be done in a way that it really opens your spine, or it can just be done in a way that it's not really doing much to us. And that's a shame because it's a really useful exercise. So that's why it's very important, especially if you're quite mobile. It will feel like very easy to do if you don't actually engage the muscles. So it's so important to start to get all that information in so that you can make it something useful for you. And let's just do a little bit of lunges, which is also quite a something that we do very often, and we can really do it without much awareness of how we do it, because it's quite easy to just forget about all that. So I'm going to have one foot in the front. Now I would encourage you, if you've got some sort of an unstable surface, this is not super unstable. I could have a bigger cushion, just going to feel it, okay? So you can put something like that on your foot, just like a big cushion you use for reading in bed or that kind of thing. That'll be very useful. Or just a normal floor. Don't worry, don't go crazy around in the house, but for another day, you can have it ready. So you're having the whole sole of the foot, right foot planted. And then I'm going to go with my hands on my hips. If I need to grab onto that, that's perfect. No worry, just get closer to one. And then in the back foot, I'm really imagining I am pressing against something. So I'm not super high so that I don't connect with anything. I am going to imagine I've got like a little block I am pressing against on that leg. And then I'm going to start to imagine I pick up my pubic bone, so you can even bring me up a bit of your trousers up so that you physically feel that. And you're going to start to keep pressing on the back heel and lifting your pubic bone to go down. Very good. Now you press on the both feet to come up. And again. So this is the choreography. We're just going to do it a couple more times and then I'll give you a bit more information. Pressing on the whole. Now, if this is an unstable surface, I will really need to feel that I'm pressing on the whole sole. So if there's a bit that's getting unstable, just make sure when you go up and down. I am really pressing, which is really tricky, on the whole foot. Beautiful. And there. I'm going to start imagining I'm packaging my hips together. So I'm not just pressing with one. This one is super active, pressing against that imaginary block. And I keep reaching my heel back. Okay, very good. I'm squaring my hips as much as I can. Now last one. So good. Making sure I'm very, very heavy on both feet. Now, when I want to go up, make sure in this surface in the front, I'm pressing through the whole foot to go down. Down, 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 not up, down. Very good. We're going to change position. So it's a bit the feeling that instead of pressing against the floor, you're letting the pressure against the floor fit yourself. So it's kind of different if I just press in a way that it just like takes me out and I'm like probably going to lock my knee. Whereas if you have the energy down, it's really going to ground you and allow that muscle to build up. Okay. And this other one is going to be pressing that imaginary block. Wonderful. Now, just notice how your position is right now. If your bum is out a little bit, there's not much connection between the hips. And just find a way to start to press on the back foot and on the front foot in a way that as I press on my left sit bone is going to travel back. And as I press on my right knee is going to travel forward. Very good. And I'm pressing on the whole sole to come all the way up. Keep imagining the softness in your belly and the pubic bone picking up. Wonderful. Keeping that squareness so that my left hip is not higher than my right. I keep reaching to the heel. Remember the back block? Back block, back block, back block. Yes, last one. That's beautiful. Nice. Okay. Very, very nice. Good. Now let's just come to the front. Just leave the little cushion. And from there, we're just going to open the groin a bit. So you can, I'm going to be in my profile so you can see me. Bending the knees, hands in the front of your knees. And you're just going to bring one shoulder, left shoulder forward a little bit to just stretch the knee away from you. And give yourself a nice groin stretch. Exhaling, go, let all that tension go. And then we're going to go on the other side. Oh, that's it. You have some crunch a bit and needs to just, and click or click. Just let it do it. And we're going to go again. So I keep using my feet. I'm not just collapsing. I really keep using my feet as I open my groin. Yes. And then I'm going to go on the right. Wonderful. Nice. Okay. And we're going to do a bit of the preparation of rolling like a ball. If you've done Pilates before, you will probably you will have seen this exercise for sure, because it's a quite, yeah, I'm just going to turn this on. It's quite a, it's actually a beginner's exercise, but it is very, very tricky to do. It's not as easy as it looks. Most of the really simple exercises in Pilates require all the skills you need to build up in the repertoire. So we're going to start just by having heels together, and we're going to grab our ankles. And from there, I want you to imagine you're pulling your arm bones into you so that you start to have some strong shoulders there without overdoing it. And you're going to start to squeeze the heels together a lot. And imagine you're spreading your knees apart. But just enough, because you can see that if I spread them too much, I lose the pressure in my heels, right? So I'm sort of like trying to press my ankles together a bit, but at the same time, my legs want to go apart. Loads of oppositions there. Now, because I want you to train on this before we actually do it, and because I don't know if you've got a mat, which is an important bit to know, I'm going to have hands here, because this is going to be such a great preparation for rolling like a ball. So your hands are going to be there, and you're going to pull your feet a bit higher. but we keep having the same feeling. My knees want to slightly go apart, but my heels want to stay together. And then I'm going to send my pubic bone towards my nose to roll a little bit back so that the distance between my chest and my knees does not change. And then I'm going to roll all the way back up. Very good. And again. So I'm absorbing the seam of my trousers to go all the way back. And then I'm pressing through my whole palm to go up. And again. Now it's very important the work of the pelvic floor here. So I want you to imagine pelvic floor is connected to the domes of the body, so the diaphragm, the arches. So it's like you're sucking your arches a little bit right into that seam of your trousers to go. Very, very good. That's great. And from there, I'm just going to rest there for a second. Pull your knees towards your chest. Okay. And I'm going to sit forward so you can see me. So we're just going to be having both hands underneath. So one hand underneath each thigh, let's say. And very good. And we're just going to work a little bit on all that what will actually progress later on into a teaser, into open leg rocker, and all those nice fan positions that we can do, in the more advanced work that actually come from these really strong base of support. So my hands are in the back of my thighs, and I'm pulling my knees into my chest just enough so that I can still feel my hamstrings pressing into my hands. So it's just always a two-way street. It's not I'm just holding my hands and then my legs are not doing anything, or the other way around. So I want you to pull your elbows apart and really make your hands strong and your legs strong. So your legs are like sort of wanting to go away from your hands, and your hands are trying to pull you in. But the balance of the forces needs to be equal. Okay, so if I pull too much on my arms, I'm going to fall back. And if I do the opposite, then I'm going to go forward because the legs are going to press too much. So finding the nice balance, I'm going to try to float one calf up, 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 imagining my thigh bone is dropping down into my socket and I bend. Very good. Now, very easy to go with the knee, but we don't want the knee to overwork because it does work all the time. So I'm going to imagine a very heavy thigh. It's like my thigh bone wants to drop right into my socket, letting my lower belly drop, and my calf is super light. And then I'm going to let it drop. Good. And again. Now, if this is too much, you can always do it with one leg. Just one, okay? So you can have your feet on the floor, and you can just do it with one and go just as far as you feel is not pushing too much from the back of the knee. And if that feels very comfortable, then you can do it like this. So whatever works for you now, that's what's important that you work on. There you go. And two more. So you're letting that thigh bone drop into the socket. Nice. We're going to do one more. And then we're just going to get a bit excited and try with both if we can. There we go. Now, if you're on the floor, you can just try to do this one that we just did. And if you're already here, we're going to do both. So pulling your elbows apart and imagining the thigh bones are dropping into the socket. I'm going to float both. Good. And then I'm going to go again. Keep using your hands and your legs. Wonderful. Now, if you want, you can even take your hands off for a second and relax. Nice. Very good. Now from there, I'm just going to stretch a little bit just in this position. Soles are together. And I'm just going to go a little bit from side to side. Just releasing that groin a bit. Nice work. Very, very good. Okay. So, we've done a little bit of shoulders, not much though. We might do some more arms now. Yeah, let's do a little bit more arms. It's quite a shame that we don't have weights, but we can always use our body, which is the weight of the body, which is very, very, very useful if we use it properly. So we're gonna go first, we're gonna go into a shoulder bridge. But I want you to try to use a wall, okay? So if you've got a wall somewhere close to you, your hands are going to be like this on the wall. So in this case, I'm going to mark it here, but I'm not going to be able to put my hands in there because that really opens out. So my hands would be here. I don't know if you see me. I think you can see me. So my fingertips are facing towards the floor, and my shoulders are spread, and I've got space in them. Okay. So I could do it there, but I want you to see me on my profile. So if you can't find a wall, or you think that's a bit too much in terms of all the shoulder gill support, you're going to do it just on the floor without the wall. Okay. But if you've got a wall, I would recommend it because it's going to give you some extra work on the hands and help you quite a lot. So remember, your hands would be here. And I want you to start to feel how when you press on your palms, your chest and heart are going to melt down. Okay. So I'm assuming most of you are on the wall. If you're not on the wall, we're going to have elbows on the side. Okay. So I'm going to do it with elbows on the side, but you guys do it like that. So elbows on the side in this case, and we're going to press on the feet. And I'm going to imagine, same thing for you. You're going to send your pubic bone towards your nose. So all I'm doing is I'm pressing with my feet to tilt my pubic bone towards my nose. Okay? Very simple. And just do the beginning of it for a second for me and then come back. Okay, so if you look at my pelvis, all I'm doing is I'm pressing with my feet just enough so that it can tip my bone towards my nose, and then I can start to come up. Okay, now if I force it, I'm going to over squeeze my glute. I'm going to tuck, and I'm going to do loads of funny things there. But I don't want that. I just want you to simply press on the feet and allow that to tip the bone without effort. Okay, so imagine it's just like, yeah, like a little swing that you move back and forward. So again, let's go. Press on the feet, swinging the pubic bone towards your nose, and you're going to keep pressing on the knees, and you're going to imagine with your hands up there that you send the knees away from your hands. So your knees are going to stretch towards that window, in my case, towards your front. Very good. And you're going to try to have your feet nice and planted on the floor so that the whole sole of the foot is pressing. And now inhaling there. And with your hands up there, guys, you're going to melt your heart down to the floor. The first thing that comes down is the throat. Then I go down with my chest, then with my middle back, then with my lower back, and eventually my sacrum and coccyx. Okay, so it's really progressive. And again, pressing on the feet to simply tilt. If I am doubting if I'm pressing in my belly, I can just have my hand on my belly and feel that your belly is like flesh hanging. So it's super soft. Make it soft. Beautiful. You keep your hands up there, guys. Yes, I'm going to imagine I have them there, okay? Very good. And you keep going. You keep reaching the knees away from you. Keep pressing on the feet and connecting the knees together. Beautiful. And now, pressing on the whole palm to melt your throat down to the mat and going vertebra by vertebra all the way down. And I'm just going to do one more because we're going to stay up there for some more fun. So, again, simple, nice and easy. Pressing on the feet to just let the bone tip. So I'm creating a slope that goes from my pubic bone down to my chest, and every single bit of flesh is hanging, and I'm reaching my knees away over my feet. Beautiful. And now I'm pressing on my shoulders, on my hands to melt the throat. Now I'm going to stay in the middle, okay? So I'm going to stay in that middle bit there, so I'm not too high. And I'm going to keep tipping my pubic bone towards my nose and relaxing my belly. And as I do, I press on my left foot to pick up my right knee. Good. And I inhale, bring that foot down. Keep pressing on my hands to stabilize me and drop my heart. And I pick up the other leg. I go down, inhaling. And I keep tipping the pubic bone towards my nose to pick up my right knee. Beautiful. Two more. Inhale down. We're almost there, I promise you. Keep tipping the pubic bone. Good. Last one. Stay up there. Yes. And nice. Now from there, all the way, pressing on the palms again to find that nice smooth articulation through your spine all the way down. Wonderful. And just move that pelvis around a bit just to relax it. Wow, that was really good. That's not an easy exercise at all. So, very nice. And I'm going to have to leave you here for this session. But we've got the stretching one now, which is just until 10 past. And it's going to be a continuity of this because we haven't really done much stretching. And it'll be really nice to just open up the tissues and end up with a bit of relaxation. So please join me. It'll be in nothing. I'm just going to change the mission and I'm connecting into the other one. So give me 3 minutes and I'll be back there with you. If you like this, please give me a like, subscribe, and yeah, hope to see you in the following session in a bit. Okay, thank you for being here. See you there.